Today our topic is how to cultivate gratitude using Stoic principles. Gratitude is a powerful tool that can transform how we see the world and ourselves. It helps us focus on what we have rather than what we lack, and it brings peace and contentment to our lives. But gratitude is not always easy to practice, especially when life feels hard or unfair. This is where Stoic philosophy can help. Stoicism is an ancient way of thinking that teaches us how to live a good life by focusing on what we can control and accepting what we cannot. By using Stoic principles, we can learn to cultivate gratitude in a deep and lasting way. Let's explore how. First, let's talk about what Stoicism is. Stoicism was founded in ancient Greece by a man named Zeno, and it was later developed by philosophers like Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius. The main idea of Stoicism is that we cannot control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we respond to it. The Stoics believe that true happiness comes from within, not from external things like money, fame, or comfort. They taught that by focusing on our own thoughts, actions, and attitudes, we can find peace and fulfillment, no matter what life throws at us. One of the key Stoic practices is the idea of negative visualization. This means imagining the worst-case scenario or thinking about losing the things we have. At first, this might sound depressing, but it's actually a powerful way to cultivate gratitude. When we imagine losing something like our health, our job, or a loved one, we suddenly realize how much we value it. This exercise helps us appreciate what we have while we still have it. For example, think about your ability to see. Imagine what it would be like to lose your sight. Suddenly, the simple act of seeing becomes a gift. By practicing negative visualization, we train our minds to focus on the good things in our lives and feel grateful for them. Another Stoic principle that helps with gratitude is the idea of Amor fati, which means love of fate. This is the idea that we should accept and even embrace everything that happens to us, whether it's good or bad. The Stoics believe that everything happens for a reason, and that even difficult experiences can teach us something valuable. When we practice Amor fati, we stop resisting life and start accepting it as it is. This doesn't mean we have to like everything that happens, but it means we can find peace in knowing that every experience has a purpose. For example, if you lose your job, instead of feeling angry or bitter, you can choose to see it as an opportunity to grow, learn new skills, or find a better path. By loving our fate, we can find gratitude even in the hardest moments. The Stoics also taught the importance of focusing on the present moment. They believed that the past is gone and the future is uncertain. So the only thing we truly have is the present. When we focus on the here and now, we can fully appreciate the small joys of life, like the taste of a meal, the sound of laughter, or the warmth of the sun. Gratitude thrives in the present moment because it's where we can notice and enjoy the good things in our lives. The Stoics remind us that life is short and unpredictable, so we should make the most of every moment. By practicing mindfulness and staying present, we can cultivate a deeper sense of gratitude for the simple things. Another Stoic practice that helps with gratitude is the idea of Memento mori, which means remember that you will die. This might sound dark, but it's actually a way to remind ourselves of how precious life is. When we remember that our time is limited, we start to appreciate the people and experiences we often take for granted. For example, instead of getting annoyed by a family member, we might think, what if this is the last time I see them? This shift in perspective can help us feel more grateful for the people in our lives and treat them with more kindness and love. Memento mori reminds us to live with intention and gratitude, because we never know how much time we have left. The Stoics also believed in the importance of self-reflection. They encouraged people to take time each day to think about their actions, thoughts, and feelings. This practice, called journaling, helps us become more aware of ourselves and our lives. By reflecting on our day, we can notice the good things that happened and feel grateful for them. For example, you might write about a kind gesture from a stranger, a beautiful sunset, or a moment of laughter with a friend. Journaling also helps us learn from our mistakes and grow as people. By taking time to reflect, we can cultivate a habit of gratitude and become more mindful of the blessings in our lives. Another important Stoic principle is the idea of focusing on what we can control. The Stoics divided life into two categories: things we can control and things we cannot. We can control our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, but we cannot control external events, other people's opinions, or the weather. When we focus on what we can control, we stop wasting energy on things we can't change and start taking responsibility for our own happiness. This shift in focus helps us feel more empowered and grateful. For example, if it rains on the day of a picnic, we can't control the weather, but we can control how we respond. Instead of feeling upset, we can choose to feel grateful for the rain that nourishes the earth and find joy in spending time indoors with loved ones. By focusing on what we can control, we can cultivate gratitude, even in difficult situations. The Stoics also believed in the power of simplicity. They taught that true happiness comes from within, not from external possessions or achievements. When we live simply and focus on what truly matters, we can feel more content and grateful. For example, instead of chasing after more money or material things, we can find joy in the simple pleasures of life, like spending time with family, enjoying nature, or helping others. The Stoics remind us that we don't need a lot to be happy. By living simply, we can appreciate what we have and feel grateful for the abundance in our lives. Finally, the Stoics taught the importance of helping others. They believed that we are all connected, and that helping others is a way to contribute to the greater good. When we practice kindness and generosity, we not only make the world a better place, but we also feel more grateful for our own lives. For example, when we volunteer at a shelter or help a friend in need, we realize how much we have to give and how fortunate we are. Helping others shifts our focus from what we lack to what we can offer, and this creates a deep sense of gratitude. In conclusion, cultivating gratitude using Stoic principles is about changing how we see the world and ourselves. It's about practicing negative visualization to appreciate what we have, loving our fate to find meaning in every experience, staying present to enjoy the small joys of life, remembering our mortality to cherish each moment, reflecting on our lives to notice the good, focusing on our lives to notice the good, living simply to find contentment. By following these Stoic practices, we can develop a habit of gratitude that brings peace, joy, and fulfillment to our lives. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it's a way of living. And with the help of Stoic philosophy, we can learn to live with gratitude every day.